Hello everyone, welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Rohit Sharma. Hi Rohit, welcome to ELI.
Thank you, Priya. Thanks for having me.
I would request you to introduce yourself to our audience and tell us a bit about your pre-entrepreneurial journey, like where were you born and brought up, where did you study, which all companies did you work for before starting Abhibus?
I'm Rohit Sharma. I am Chief Operating Officer at Abhibus, and I'm a father of a 5 years old. So these are the two most exciting things in life right now. Um, before uh, Before joining Abhibus, I have had work with a variety of organizations. Like I have spent about 6 years in Times of India Group, taking care of some of the very exciting products of theirs. I've worked in different domains that includes in the sports broadcasting to news to astrology and various stints in e-commerce at large, but nothing comes remotely as exciting as Abhibus is, purely because of kind of scale of the problem that we are solving right now, and more importantly, the kind of time that India is going through, massive disruption in technology, as well as the state of growth that India is witnessing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this seems to be the best time to be alive right now. So yeah.
Okay, so I'll not ask you to tell us about Abhibus because many of our listeners should already know about Abhibus. It's one of the top players in the bus aggregating space. One of the whoever has ever booked a bus, they would already know about Abhibus. But I want you to narrate the story of Abhibus. So the concept of aggregating bus services that started, I think, long back in 2006. Tell us a bit about the whole journey, like how did you see this space, what was your initial experience, and how did you conceptualize the venture of Abhibus, and what was not already solved that you are trying to solve through Abhibus?
The problem that we were solving back then was a little different. We are an out and out technology company, so our job was to fix the technology play, which has various aspects to it. So the first half of our life went into building the online passenger reservation system, uh, which enables various bus operators to go online and start their digital journey. What came very exciting for Abhibus in the initial years is that we were able to uh, 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 grab a big amount of government contracts, which includes some of the largest RTCs. And India is actually a big consumer of government products back in the day, even today. So the moment we had one of the biggest RTCs using our software solutions, means that we started understanding how India likes to travel and various nuances of bus travel. And that's where in 2018-19 we launched the consumer-facing product of Abhibus, that is abhibus.com and Abhibus mobile apps. And that's where um, the real excitement starts, because when you start facing consumer, the expectations and the responsibilities that you have grow multifold. We've been working on solving a lot of problems that others have not either tried to do, or they have not uh, found them relevant to be solved.
Hmm.
And that gives us a different positioning in the market that can take us far. I would particularly want to maybe start with one very important problem that uh, mostly don't focus on in India, that is the travel experience.
Hmm.
Typically, it is not expected the aggregators to really think about the experience, because the job really finishes when you release the ticket, and perhaps extends to the cancellation of the ticket and refund.
Hmm.
Um, but the in-bus experience is something that we are taking very seriously, and we want to basically look at this problem from a different angle, that as a large aggregator, can we assist the industry to take certain bold moves to provide a quality assurance. So naturally the product name is Assured. Abhi Assured is a very unique and perhaps the first of its kind globally that gives a service quality guarantee of various sorts to a bus customer, which
Mm,
includes if your bus is late, we give you a full compensation back, meaning you can actually travel for free if your bus doesn't arrive on time, which is a huge blessing in this today's time and age where traffic conditions are very unpredictable, and so on and so forth. But using technology and certain tight SOPs, we believe that we can actually change the behavior of certain bus operators who really care for the technology and introduce those services to the customer so that they can expect a punctuality every single time. And
mm,
it doesn't stop there. Apart from punctuality, we give a behavioral assurance, we give a seat quality assurance, AC insurance assurance. So basically, anything that doesn't work in the bus, we give a gold class assurance that you can take your money back and travel for free if you are not satisfied. So there are very few industries across the country where the service providers or service enablers are taking that kind of a bold call. And this product is barely a few months old since we launched it, but right now close to one third of our bookings are assured, which means the customer is going for those bus operators who give this kind of an assurance. So this is one of the stepping stones and our approach towards looking at customer first, and not just looking to sell tickets, but making sure that we sell tickets so the customers lives are getting better as they travel through Abhibus.
mm. Would like to go back a little bit in timeline and ask you, why did we pivot from being a, so you were like a SaaS company giving SaaS services to bus operators. Why did you switch from that to becoming a consumer app?
Yeah, so there was a massive wave of consumer products that really started after the marquee names like Flipkart, Ola, Uber, Amazon, etc. And that the period of that introduction to large scale systematic internet e-commerce in India was between 2012 to 2017, and then demonetization happened. So right after demonetization, we believe that possibly now the Indian bus consumers are ready to embark their e-ticketing journey. And even another way of answering that question would be, even today barely 15% of Indian bus consumers are booking tickets online. So we may not be late. Possibly we are very early in this game.
Mm,
So right, on a contrary, almost 4 out of 5 tickets that are sold for buses, for flights and trains are sold online. So you can
wow.
see a huge contrast between the online penetration for bus versus rest of the popular modes. That makes us believe that we have made an entry where the Indians are moving towards online e-ticketing. So that's the primary reason we thought that we have to time our entry well and do things right instead of sort of doing it in haste and not doing it right. So the product was ready. It took a few years for the product to be absolutely ready for the consumers and do certain things differently. Yeah, that's the reason sort of we came a little late to the party, in your words.
So when you enter into consumer space, you have to invest a lot in brand building and making sure customers download your app, and also there is a lot of cost attached to it. How did you go about solving that puzzle?
Yeah, so I think one of the very simple uh, secrets to survival is not to overspend. I think people have really learned that. I don't think I have to really repeat that. What happened in last 3 4 years have taught startups to not burn cash to acquire a customer. Fortunately, because of our DNA being a technology company, we never followed that trend. So we have never really spend money aggressively on customer acquisition. One epitome of that is that right now also, again, 4 out of 5 of our customers are repeat customers. So we barely depend on new customer acquisition. We are rather able to retain the customers. Uh, we have always focused on digital first approach for customer acquisition also, and hence you will not be maybe able to find our brand painted on the walls across the country. So we have followed a very frugal approach of customer acquisition and rather focused on product enhancements to retain the customer, making their journey of booking better. I mean, for example, we were the first in the country across OTA segment to even launch instant refunds on cancellation. That was even pre-COVID. So we brought the product which was ready to gratify the customer should he or she decide to cancel their booking. And now post COVID, it became almost a mandate for every OTA to have instant refunds, because consumers don't, no longer wait for 3, 4, 5, 7 days for their
Hmm.
refunds to come, even though that means that you have to pay out of your pocket or you have to incur certain extra costs to provide instant refunds. We did that, right at the beginning. So yeah, those are certain ways that go more viral, as they say. And during the course of this discourse, we'll speak about more examples where we try to do industry first approach to make sure customer, when they use Abhibus first, they should not think about any other OTA.
Hmm. Uh, you spoke about technology. Being a technology first company, I'm sure you must be deploying our latest technologies like AI, generative AI, and LLMs and all. So, tell us what is the new technologies that you are experimenting on or have deployed at Abhibus.
Yeah. So, look, Priya, these technologies have been around us for very long. And yes, I think 2023 suddenly brought that favoritism and everybody's talking about AI. But I would like to give an example of usage of AI again before COVID itself, when we were still into our early stage of product life cycle. And I would like to sort of explain that with maybe a problem statement.
Sure.
Unlike flights, when you try to search a bus, let's say Bombay, Pune, or Jaipur today, you might be seeing hundreds of results. So,
Mm,
and our endeavor has always been that from the time to search, from the time that you search to completion of booking, that period should be minimized. So one of the approach that we followed using automation on our search result page is that every result for a customer, when he's searching, he or she is searching, should be unique and should be closer to your choice. So at the back end, the system that calculates is based on your persona, your personal history, or your likelihood. Are you going to book a government bus ticket or a bus ticket that cost on that route for 500 rupees or 200 rupees? Do you want discount or not? I think all those permutation combination system would decide and present you the results that are more relevant for you. It's almost like you can think about Google search, where the search results mostly are customized and unique to a customer, so that the item that you click on is going to be most suitable to you. So that was very early stage where we thought about the customer, and provide you the information that is most relevant to you, so that your booking experience is enhanced.
got it. Uh, I also uh, got to know recently that Abhibus is experimenting with celebrity endorsements recently. So can you tell us about that engagement?
Yeah, I mean, again, celebrity endorsement is one side of customer acquisition, but we've been very selective in choosing our celebs, both from the regional setting, as well as from choosing the right phase, which our customers should not sort of uh, should feel good about. So our brand ambassador from the Telugu market is Mahesh Babu. He's I believe, I'm not just myself a fan, but I am a firm believer that he's one of the most cleanest a celebrity in the country. No controversies, and a very family man.
Right.
So, and because of which I think a lot of people in South associate Abhibus as a family brand, because the person that is endorsing the brand should also be himself a good person first, right? So
Mm,
so we've been associated with Mahesh Babu for about 5 years now, almost like since beginning,
mhm.
and we are very proud of that association.
Okay. Speaking of South market, that ignites a question in me. I'm just trying to think out loud that the bus aggregation as a service that has found more success in South India compared to rest of India. Would you agree to that? And can you tell us underlying factors behind it?
So there are multiple factors that buses in general in South have been uh, a more preferred mode than trains, because our direct competition historically has been trains. Primarily, if you look at the demographic, the geographic constitution of North, there is actually the rail line from Gorakhpur to Amritsar is a straight line.
Mm,
So, and the number of trains that run on that circuit are way more than the number of trains that you will see connecting Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, and the other major cities of South.
mm,
So compared to the simplicity of the train route on north, south doesn't have that kind of a straightforward railway line, and hence the supply is also very limited. Supply limitation of trains has always been one of the opportunity statement for buses, because when you don't find trains, or your tatkal is not doesn't go through, or your RAC or your waiting list is not confirmed, then only you know that there's a bus available last minute. Second reason is the road infra was developed in South predominantly in 90s and early 2000s. And there is no denial that right now the way road infra in India is growing is unprecedented and never heard before.
yeah.
But relatively, South was ready with the road infra in the last 2 decades. Now we are seeing North and West are coming to the same parity. So a better road infra and a lack of a relatively simplified train infra was primarily the reason that for South Indians, bus became the first choice to travel within states.
But now it's changing, right?
Yeah. Now I think even though see, the beauty of India is that yes, there are amazing trains coming in, but India as a growth story, the kind of population we have, the kind of uh, purchasing power that we have, which people sometimes underestimate by just the per capita, etc. Like for example, today's Times of India says that 2019 average price of a car sold in India was sub 8 lakh rupees, which in this last month, July 2023, is about 12 lakh rupees. So
Right.
there is almost a 40-50% growth in the ASP of the cars,
Mm,
let alone the volumes of cars and the bikes and the two-wheelers that are being sold in India. So Indians and their fascination towards going out and exploring the world is unmatched. I think the way all of us travel, and we have multiple reasons, right? By culture, we don't just look to travel for fun, but there is travel for family, there is travel for pilgrimage. So we have more reasons than any other country to go out and explore the world. And that's the reason, I think that's the reason that the travel across India right now is booming, and we strongly believe that it will continue to boom in the decades to come.
got it. In any challenges faced while building and scaling Abhibus into the successful platform it is today?
Yeah, I mean, see, challenges were always there, and now also sort of challenges continue to grow. I mean, yes, travel industry has seen a COVID, which everybody knows that the entire country came to a standstill. For specific types of travels, especially intercity, that the curb was for very long. So yes, I think we've had challenges. I think we're looking at these challenges in more positive way, because these cycles continue to come and go. But if your fundamentals are good, right, if you don't just focus on burning money to capture a customer, but actually acquire a customer for life, these challenges will continue to come. We're rather looking at challenges which are pertaining to the customer's problems. We know that the bus industry in India is very fragmented. It is very unstructured, especially on the private supplier side. So there are issues with boarding points. If you have taken a bus recently, you know that there are no confined boarding points or bus stations for private operators, and government buses have their own challenges. So I think we have a lot of problems in hand to creatively resolve. And as the history speaks, any challenger that is able to resolve problems differently and more creatively
Right.
is definitely able to sort of grow faster than the rest of the players in the market.
Right. What is the future in terms of what is the future of bus as a means of transportation? Because these days aviation industry is growing rapidly, and people who could earlier go from Hyderabad to Bangalore in bus, they are now thinking about going through flight. So the dynamics also is changing. People who could not afford bus travel, they are not they are now able to afford bus travel. So from both sides it is changing. So tell us, what are the different dynamics that you see, and what is the future that you predict for Abhibus?
Yeah, I feel it's unfair to compare flight segment with bus, because even the number speaks that in India every day barely 400,000 or 450,000 max people are traveling by flights, and that could be perhaps, if I throw a large city, that could be the number of people taking a bus from a single city. So yes, Indians are definitely being able to afford flight tickets now, which is always a healthier sign for the economy. But the scale of aviation industry is uncomparable to the bus segment. Just to compare, the structured intercity bus travel number of seats that are booked every day is about 20 lakh. But if I include the intra-city local buses, everything put together, uh, the number of passengers that sit in a bus in India is higher than any other mode across the globe being used by humans. So on a good day, you might have about 20 crore Indians taking a bus. And I
Wow.
think that's the scale of the problem for us to solve, right? So you have the intra-city play, which is humongous and not digitized. So again, our endeavor is not to sell tickets, as I always say. We are one of the early technology players to solve the intra-city bus problem in India. So we are the system integrator for APS RTC, which is one of the largest RTC in India. Not many state roadways have really thought of or prepared themselves to solve the intra-city digitization problem. But we know that since we are the first one to solve that problem, we'll also be, more often than not preferred to be the player that can solve the intra-city bus ticketing problem also. Just for perspective, Abhibus, from our old days, we are the largest system integrator for government buses. Currently, from Telangana roadways to Himachal, Kerala, Karnataka, APSRTC, these are all are our partners that we are the backend enablers for them.
Mhm.
And as we speak, more and more government entities and private bodies are also preparing to digitize even the city bus problem, because you have a lot of misusage, cash collection problem, tracking problem, etc., etc. So, what was the problem in hand in 2008-9 for the intercity bus play is seemingly the problem for intracity now, and definitely, I think we have a huge edge to be able to sort of solve that and take that up to 20 crore Indians preferring to travel by bus. We can actually take a pole position there.
What are the different lessons that you have learned, and what are the lessons that we can take away and probably apply to our ventures?
Yeah, I think there are having a successful business under your belt is a combination of various lessons. They can't be one. There has to be many. But I think one thing, since you use the word entrepreneurship, I think everybody in our team is treated and being made to believe as an entrepreneur, which is very important, because normally the difference between an employee and an entrepreneur is that you don't just try to fix a problem, you try to solve it, right?
Mm.
So like I said, I think India is at a stage where every day we see a problem, and every day we see that nobody is really interested in fixing that, because everybody is looking to chase that alpha and try to just make money out of it. We
Right.
believe that if you're able to continue focusing on consumer insights, being really caring about every single tweet that we see on Twitter, every single uh, even appreciation or complaint that we see, we need to just decode and find what customer is going through. So
Mm.
like for example, a few days back, I read a tweet, or rather private message from a lady who's from Noida, but she was traveling to Kerala. She's part of one university in Noida,
Mhm.
and she was supposed to take the government bus, but at 11:30 she receives a message that the bus is cancelled,
Mm.
right? And then I saw a message, and I realized that that lady doesn't have anywhere to go, and she doesn't know the local language. So right, so and I don't think anybody would really care to solve that problem, but that could be a situation of lakhs of Indians, if not crores every day, who are stranded in a
Right.
location where they're not aware about. So you can use technology to give them a real-time picture of the surroundings, help them find a place, or at least be a little empathetic to think about the problem and keep at the back of the mind that how do we resolve that, and that
Hmm.
in future can turn into a massive revenue opportunity also. I think that's the culture of our organization. We are part of the Ixigo group, and even all properties of Ixigo group, including Confirm Ticket, Ixigo, Abhibus. Uh, our belief is that we have to keep thinking about customer problems, keep discussing that internally, keep finding innovative solutions. And India is a classic example of solving things with jugaad, because
Hmm.
if there's no solution to problem, let's fix a jugaad, so that at least people can come out of that situation. So there are multiple, I think I can spend an hour even discussing what are those problems on ground, from boarding to tracking to sitting on the seat to even having the noise around you. So we are fixing it through various initiatives, caring about every aspect that you might be facing but not feeling. That's also
Hmm.
one important thing. Businesses that have become successful are not just focusing on the problems that the customer is facing,
Hmm.
right, but also what he's feeling inside, but may not be really caring about that. So
Right.
that's the approach for Abhibus and our team.
Well, on this note, we have come to the closure of the session. Thanks for joining us, Rohit. It was a pleasure to have you on our platform, and our best wishes for Abhibus.
Thank you, Priya. Pleasure is all mine.